I'm John Kay with Traditional Arts Indiana, and we'd like to share with you today some material about how we do our research. And I think one of the first ways to think about recording or documenting oral histories or traditional arts is to think about what it's going to be used for first. The fact that if you're just going to write a class paper, or you want to record an oral history with a family member or something like that, that really it might be overkill to lug out cameras and stereo mics and all types of equipment when maybe just a little handheld recorder might actually work best for you. So what we're going to try to do is show you some simple ways as well as some more complicated ways to end up with good products. So rule number one, think about what it's going to be used for. Think about whether you want to have video, whether you want to have high quality audio for doing a podcast or doing a CD to give out to family or something, or whether it's really just for the information's sake. The most important thing in doing an interview is not the equipment. That's why I always say keep it simple. The equipment is really just a tool to the end. So I always try to have it set in a simple setup and then focus all my attention on people like Suzanne here, who's a great participant here at Traditional Arts Indiana. And what I do is I set up, and the first thing I do is before I even turn on the camera, is I start talking with them and telling them, don't worry about the camera, we can cut things and edit things into pieces, and it's not any big deal. And if you notice what I was doing then when I was talking, I kept my eyes right on her eyes. I stayed focused right on her because they're the focus of this. Then the next thing I do is I say, I'm going to start the camera, but we're going to put a little leader on here, and I'm going to say the date, the location, and also what the general topic is. That way, if these files get separated from any titling or any paperwork, someone can listen back to it and find out what's on the recording. Then I continue to try to make the person feel at ease. And the way I accomplish that is I look them in the eye, I lean forward, and I start talking with them. How did you get started studying folklore or something like that? And if you notice, what I did instantly there was I leaned into the camera. What you want to do is, in Western society, if you look someone in the eye, they feel really obliged to look you back in the eye. And so what happens is you don't get the people looking at the camera like this, you know. Because that looks really strange, doesn't it, if I look right at the lens like that. Okay. So when I look at the person and I'm leaning into the camera, they start looking me in the eye, and it's a much more natural look and feel. The other thing that happens is after just a few minutes, well, they don't really forget that there's a camera in the room, but they start to loosen up and really feel like they're talking to me rather than just talking to the camera. And that's the number one thing, because you want to hold a conversation with this person. The documentation tools are secondary to the conversation, the being present with that person at that one moment in time.